What do you do if your talent and competence isn't enough? The glass ceiling is an artificial barrier that prevents women and minorities from gaining executive positions. The United States was founded on the shoulders of immigrants, and yet now it's found that immigrants and women have to work twice as hard to get the same position as their white male counterparts. The glass ceiling is real and right above our heads. It's time we acknowledge the existence of the glass ceiling and shatter it, because it will benefit those below and above the barrier. So, as far as the glass ceiling existing, a lot of arguments have been against it because they say that women don't succeed because they choose not to. They say that they would rather stay at home than put in the time and dedication in furthering their education and careers. Actually, this is very unlogical. It's crazy how they say things like this, but also men, mostly white men, are a minority and are filling all the executive positions. The above argument was made in research from the 1980s, and yet in the National Women's History Museum, it states that due to the educational system's exclusion of women, that women didn't start attending college at equal numbers as men until the 1980s. So to say that women chose to be as educated as men is terribly wrong. The glass ceiling does exist, and in an article called Diversity, Culture, and the Glass Ceiling, Eleanor Wilson states that minorities experience barriers such as stereotyping and bias, subtle racism, unwritten rules, societal barriers, governmental barriers, and internal organizational barriers. These artificial barriers are hard to fight because they have to be acknowledged in order to change, and they're also set by the same people who are running these companies, which are the white male CEOs. So until we can get some kind of diversity up there, there's no real proof that these kind of things are going on. So my last point in this is that the glass ceiling isn't the only problem. There's also a wage gap, and research from the University of Australia found that females have lower rates of pay across the entire wage scale. So it's not only just women being capped at their success, but it's also how at every point of their success, every point of their career, they are losing, they're making less than men at every point of the way. Breaking the glass ceiling is not only fair to women and minorities, but it's also an opportunity to improve the world as a whole. So some of the benefits of breaking the glass ceiling have been seen by the article, The Global Glass Ceiling, Why Empowering Women is Good for Business. This article describes a program called 10,000 Women, which invests in the education of training women, and the creator, Goldman Sachs, touts that the program on the economic grounds that closing employment gender gaps in an emerging market stimulates growth. Governments are realizing that if they want to be competitive in an emerging market, they'll need to empower women. Morocco retracted its reservations about the UN Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the leading international treaty to protect women's rights, partly so that it would become more attractive to foreign companies. This is another quote from the same article, the Global Glass Ceiling, Why Empowering Women is Good for Business. So just to go back over my points, the glass ceiling does exist, and it's existing through stereotypes, bias, and unfair treatment, like unwritten rules applied to women and minorities that don't apply to everyone. In order to shatter the glass ceiling, we will help raise the other 50% of the population, which is women, and an even higher statistic of immigrants on the equal ground in the job market, so that skill and competence really can be the deciding factor between applicants, which should have been how it was all along. Thanks.